Hello everyone, this is White Wolf. I hope everyone is doing well. And we're going to be doing this live, and I wanted to really discuss about allowing the reception. And when we're channeling, we're delivering truth, we're allowing others to really accept themselves without any personal bias, and wanting to reinforce how to receive and to develop and to implement the codes and the downloads that we receive in the interaction of our higher selves, in the interaction of the energy and our intuitive nature as we're experiencing it in that moment, when we're interacting with one another and we're delivering the truth and we're allowing the reception and the channel of spirit to come out of us very vibrantly, very holistically, and we're allowing it to be out in the forefront so that there is this light that is emanating, that is radiating, that is vibrating, and then we're able to see another version of ourselves. We're able to see through the lens of the I am, and we're able to see through the lens of what we know ourselves to be true, and how to actualize that, and how to intellectually speak upon that. But then we're able to get into a lengthy dialogue of observation. And then once we're observing ourselves and knowing ourselves and being true to the essence of who we are, while we're receiving this, we're allowing the reception and allowing others to open up, allowing others to permeate that love and that light and that unity and that faith within each other. So we're giving something back to one another. We're helping each other receive the power and to believe the power, but also to develop the sense of alchemy and to develop the sense of really knowing one another and seeing us as inseparable. And when we see ourselves as that, we see ourselves as an extension of source energy. We see ourselves as an extension of what we want to become. And we see that inseparability inside everything, and we see that inside of everyone. So everyone has this co-creation about them and this unity and this love of service. So whenever someone is channeling and delivering truth, there is somebody there that is witnessing that and feeling that, and there is an energetic exchange which allows us to be aware that something is being changed inside of ourselves. And as we are receiving that and knowing that and seeing that very crystalline and very clear and vivid, that everybody is receiving all at once, and then everybody is being changed in that moment when the truth is being delivered. Rather you're having a psychic reading appointment, rather you're having an energetic exchange with some friends. There is something happening all the time. Rather we are cleansing or purifying or letting go or obtaining more worthiness. We are very clear and distinct in the very fact that everybody is having this energetic exchange of transmutation. And then what you do is that you impart that and you give back something that was taken from the other person. So you're giving that back to them, being of service, putting yourself out there, and wanting people to really delve deep inside of themselves, to really know themselves, to have complete acceptance beyond their own personal bias. Because this is the point when you're channeling, where you're not promoting division or non-agreement, or you feel a certain way about this or having a position. You totally dissolve that sense of having a position. You don't have a position, you don't have an agenda, you don't even have an opinion, but you have observation and awareness and truth and development within that, so that everybody is allowing the reception to happen. And as we're all allowing the reception to happen, there is this cosmic abundance that comes in, but there's this force that is moving behind us that is allowing the manifestation of the reception, is really understanding that we are what we're searching for. We are what we're looking for. The impulse, the seeking impulse, is really wanting to develop one's own empowerment, wanting to develop one's truth and resonance and faith, and wanting more love out of life, more fulfillment. And then once you have that, then you have the ability and the sense to start channeling this quantum mechanics. And you start channeling and helping people quantum leap on their journeys. You allow them to push through thresholds, which is allowing you to push through thresholds. So you're giving something back to somebody. And then you really allow everybody else to receive from the standpoint of how they're supposed to receive within that moment. And then the message will carry, and whatever you're trying to reinforce and whatever you're trying to bring forth will be at the forefront of what everybody needs to receive at that time. So it's just reinforcing the very fact that we don't need to be anybody. We don't need to be like anybody, but we just need to be ourselves and be true to our vibration and our life and our mission and our goals and our ambitions. And then those aspirations turn into inspirations, which allows you to develop a sense of wanting to teach, wanting to demonstrate. And when you allow yourself to do that, then everything changes within your life, because you don't want to live the same way that you were living, and you don't want others to live that way either, because you understand this knowledge and this faith and this courage that it takes to really want to be of service to other people and wanting to help them and making sure that they get to where they need to be. But also, it's in the beginning of getting yourself in a position to where you are needed and you are there and you are of service in your own way. And it allows you to do that. So when we allow for the reception, we're really allowing for everyone to receive and to emanate from their own heart. So when they're emanating from their own heart and they're there and it's very pure, and then the truth is delivered, and then everything else starts to come into synchronization. So what everybody is doing when you're allowing the reception is that you're helping everyone recalibrate their energy centers, but also the energy of what they want to become. So you won't always know in that moment what they need and what they want and what they desire. But you will know what everyone needs and desires in that moment when it's supposed to be known. So we have to understand the ability that we don't really know anything to the point where we're supposed to know it. And then we're able to reinforce it, and then we're able to implement it, and then we're able to be really true and sincere and pure in the way that we do things. So when we're able to allow for the reception, allow for the exchange, allowing for the letting go, and the activation and the transmutation within that energy and that source and that genuineness of reality to be dawned on them, but also dawned on ourselves. And then when we allow for the full circle moment to come, then it's like everybody at that meditation retreat or somebody having a psychic reading, then that interaction is very much pure and you get exactly what you need in that moment for the reception to happen. So when you allow for that to happen, then everyone else is getting what they desire, what they need at that moment. And then everybody is allowing themselves to really transform in that moment. And then once you do that, once you're pure in that, once you develop that sense of really allowing everyone to receive in that moment, then it takes on a whole different meaning. It takes on a different meaning because you start to develop the sense of really knowing who you are and what you want to bring into everything that you're experiencing. And you don't have to force it, you don't have to fake it, but you just are that. You just are that of what you're channeling, of what you're bringing forth, of what you're reinforcing. And then once you're doing that, you're just allowing the truth to be there. And then people will have their questions, but it's just gaining a greater understanding of what we need to do here and now, to be more sincere in how we develop our skills, develop our wisdom, develop our sense of understanding. And then once we're able to do that, then we're able to bring back everybody into synchronization, into being more comfortable, but having complete acceptance inside of themselves so that they're not alone. So if you feel like you're alone, that's why you seek out knowledge and questions and wanting to figure things out. It's because it's the yearning of it. You're yearning for the sense of knowledge and faith and security and wanting to bring it back forth and wanting it to shine forth within everything that you do. So it just seems like every time that we allow ourselves to allow for the reception, then everybody else will receive within that moment on how they need to receive. So it doesn't matter here or there. The point will get drove home no matter what. It will drive and reinforce what you want to experience, and then you'll figure out how to be that in that moment. And you'll pick up the pieces as they come, and then you'll connect the dots, and you'll start connecting everything on how everybody needs to receive within that moment. And then once everybody does that, then everybody is receiving in that moment. It's this big energetic configuration of how everybody can really come back into sync, into balance with everything that they can do. And then everybody is channeling from their heart centers and channeling from the standpoint of who they are. And then having complete allowance towards that. And then once they're emanating from that, then there's a complete change within the organism of who they were before you delivered the truth or allowed the reception to be there. But it had nothing to really do with ourselves, but it just had to do with what we were delivering, what we were having a dialogue about, or an observation, or an awareness towards. And then we bring it back all together into a grounded form to where everybody can receive it and understand it and purify it so that they can allow themselves to receive within that moment. And then that moment is so pure and crystallized to where it just breaks the thresholds of any confusion or distortion or negativity when we allow for the reception. It's kind of like having a greater sense of healing, or you felt like you had a great meditation, it was so powerful, or you had a breakthrough where you were letting go even deeper, and then suddenly things just opened up to you. And it just opened up in such a pure way to where you were really tapping into who you really were. Not the assumption of what you thought you were, but really who you were in that moment. And then once you allow yourself to do that, and you allow others to do that, then everybody will come back into this unity, into this truth, and into this faith that we are not limited by what we just see, but we allow ourselves within that meditative state, within that circling of energy and that swirl of energy that everybody is receiving within that moment when we're doing meditations or healings or whatever we choose to do. Allowing for the reception is allowing yourself to be of service in a greater way. And then once we do that, then we can allow ourselves to really open up in a greater way. So I hope you guys are doing well, and we're going to be doing some healing energy. And if I invited you, I didn't mean to do that, but we're going to do some healing energy, and I hope you guys take part in this healing energy. And when you're receiving this healing energy, I might call in some guides. I might allow for other beings to come through and other ways of really developing the sense of connecting with your guides, having emotional healing, having the sense of activating something within yourself. So I hope everyone is doing well. This is White Wolf. If you've never been here before, this is a spirituality channel and meditation. And what I want you to do is really relax your definition, relax your spine, your mind, your thoughts, your sense of being, and really allow yourself to have reception in this moment so that you can get past the deception of the world and just wanting yourself to be as clear and as distinct as you want to be in this moment so that the reception can be pure, so that it can be crystallized, and that you can allow yourself to open up within this moment. And tap into your heart, and we're going to activate the heart. This is the first brain. This is what connects you to your body. if you want it in a grounded form, if you need it physical in this moment, just know that this is the first brain. And then once we do that, once we align the heart to the mind, and then we accept the soul within ourselves and realize that we have a soul, that we have freedom, that we have a way of receiving and opening up within ourselves. And we just make this decision and have the choice of really opening up the entire universe, opening up the entire human collective, and just holding space for everybody in this moment and sending very loving vibes and wanting to project the sense of unconditional love and not wanting to promote division, to not be judgmental, to not be crass in any way, but to allow everybody to receive on how they need to receive within this moment. And just cupping your hands in blessing and knowing that you are that blessing, knowing that you are the truth of what you want to become, knowing that you can choose another life, you can choose another way of being, and you can allow others to be healed in the way that the divine channels through you. And when we are that divine channel, then we allow everybody to really align to who they want to become, to change their personality, to change their choices, to change their emotions and their triggers and their problems, and finding the root cause of all of that, and being able to have discernment and authority and wisdom to be able to observe and to be precise and to be aware of where it stems from, where does it come from, and then being able to look at it, not run away from it, not be avoiding it, but bring it out to the forefront. And then once we let go of the attachment of it, then we can put in a ball of energy and send it back to the sun and send it right back to the light. And so then you develop the sense of empowerment within yourself. And then when this happens, you really start to seek very ferociously. You start wanting to know more knowledge. You start wanting to know how to meditate even better. And then you start the journey of self-discovery and self-remembrance. And then when you remember yourself, and you know yourself, and you accept yourself in your full essence, then you are ready to be of service to others. Because you've been through the trauma, you've been through the past lives, you've been around the block, you've been on the path, and you've awakened. But now it's find time to really bring back your power, to bring it all back into synchronization. And to really rebalance and reshape and recalibrate your life. And this is what we're doing as a co-creation, as a human collective. We're just allowing others to hold space, and we're allowing ourselves to hold space for others, so that we're not alone in this game. That we're all going through this, and we're all doing the best that we can from the standpoint of what we know now. And then we're allowing others to receive from the standpoint of where they're at now. So when we allow the reception, we're allowing ourselves to be a divine channel of love, compassion, and righteousness. And then your focus will not be on the negative. Your focus will not be on things that do not serve you, on toxic people, toxic relationships, and looking at your circumstances and being able to transform them. Being able to look at your shadow and know that you can transmute it into light. When we allow reception, we're allowing ourselves to really change and grow and transform and to elevate the energy that is present. And then you're able to validate it. But it's not the usual validation that we think of as human beings. But what it really is just kind of reinforcing and letting yourself know as a reminder that I can really be in sync and be in control and channel at all times. So what we're here to do is to blend our God aspects with our human aspects. So this is where we channel the higher self, but it's where we are still human, but we have allowed the higher self to give us so much wisdom and grace and unity to where we can become God's source energy in human form and realize that God is energy, God is an illusion. And now we can get past the stage of seeing ourselves as a position or as a person or as a thought or as an emotion, but we can see ourselves as energy. We can see ourselves as cosmic abundance. And we can see ourselves as giving people a leg up, helping them, allowing them to break down so that they can have a breakthrough and then have a new foundation built within themselves and deliver the truth with authenticity, being courageous, and just wanting to love even deeper. So that we can take the weight off of the world and we can take the limits off a source so that we can become what we want to become in that moment. That if we take the limits off of everything, then we are that power and that freedom and that alignment. Just be free, be you, and you know what to do. You know what to do with your life in this moment. And if we just do this, then we have really transcended the human condition. If we allow ourselves to love, if we allow ourselves to give, we automatically receive. Just allow yourself to let the universe serve you so that you can serve the universe. Everyone take one last deep breath. Exhale. And so it is. I hope everyone enjoyed the healing energy. And the reason why I got on this live was because I wanted to really talk about what it means to receive, what it means to be a person that delivers, and what it means to be courageous and authentic to deliver it with fire and passion and glory, because sometimes people don't really appreciate fire, passion, and glory, wanting to be true and raw in that moment because it kind of makes people feel uneasy. And then there's a lot of people who are afraid to say the things that I said today because they're afraid of how they'll be looked, how they'll be judged. And if one thing I can tell you all is that Source does not judge. Source loves you unconditionally. Source has always been you. You just didn't know that you were the recognition of Source. And then once we know that, once we are purified in that way, then we have allowed ourselves to really reinforce what it means to be human, what it means to really be human, not what we assume ourselves to be all the time, our thoughts, our feelings, because feelings aren't really feelings. It's just all in how you use them. And then it's kind of like, okay, so it's as real as I can make it. So sometimes you do have to fake it until you make it. But it's not being fake, but it's faking it until you make it. It doesn't matter what you go through. It doesn't matter if you have the worst day of your life. This still can be reinforcement and could push you through the limitations or the obstacles or what you assume. And then suddenly that kind of just drifts away. And it just kind of alleviates the pain or the forcefulness or the resistance within ourselves. And then once we do that, then we don't feel like we have to keep perpetuating it. But then we are just wanting to receive all the time because it allows us to be surprised. It allows us to make it more compact and make it more packed full of the things that we want out of life and to feel like an endless supply. And I think that's what's beautiful about all of this. So yeah, and I wanted to read your guys' comments. Thank you again for your time. I see you. I see you guys too. I try to meditate, but my mind can't shut up. It was kind of difficult for me to meditate in the beginning. So, because you have to quiet yourself, you have to really let go. You have to really not want to be a part of anything except of the nothingness that you are. And that's really difficult because you have to literally like, okay, like these drinks are not here. I'm not here. I'm omnipresent. I'm energy. I'm consciousness. I'm God. I'm Source. I'm love. I'm unity. And then everything just falls away. There's no noise. There's no chaos. There's no world domination. And then it just feels like you mass-produced your own world in that moment. So, and my advice to anybody, when we don't look at love at the end of the day, or truth, or resonance, or authenticity, and being a genuine source of energy, then I feel like we've really lost the narrative as light workers. But always look to be a genuine source of energy no matter how it makes you look. It's not about the self-image. It's not about that. It's just, this is it. This is the channel. This is the essence of my being. This is the oracle of light and wisdom that sends out those vibes. And then that's it. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And that's truth. And that's a way to be transparent. So also, guys, you guys can book private sessions with me. I hope you really enjoyed this live. It's 1 hour for 120, 2 hours for 220. I have PayPal, Venmo, and Cashapp. Also text me on TikTok. I'll send you informations for psychic readings, healings, activations, and Akashic records. Anything that your heart desires. So I want to thank you guys so much. God bless. Namaste. And until next time, this is White Wolf signing off. And so it is. Bye.